Привет, друзья! Today, let's learn Russian from news. No politics. I won't be sharing my views. It's just pure factual piece of news that we'll just simply decipher for the important words. First, I'll read through the text just one time. And then, I guess for your listening practice, and then we're gonna break it down. So, Witkoff вылетел на переговоры с президентом России. Спецпосланник президента США Стив Уиткофф вылетел в Москву для переговоров с Владимиром Путиным, заявила пресс-секретарь Белого дома Каролин Левит. Или Левит. Сейчас Уиткофф направляется в Россию, сказала она. Ожидается, что сегодня спецпосланник Дональда Трампа представит Путину план мирного урегулирования, согласованный с киевскими властями. Представитель Кремля Дмитрий Песков подтвердил, что президент примет его в Москве 2 декабря во второй половине дня. В воскресенье во Флориде прошла встреча делегаций США и Украины. От американской стороны в ней участвовали Уиткофф, зять Трампа Джаред Кушнер и глава Госдепа Марко Рубио. Последний назвал состоявшиеся переговоры полезными и продуктивными, но отметил, что впереди еще много работы. This is also part of it too. Как писали зарубежные СМИ, среди затронутых тем были обмен территориями, гарантии безопасности и невозможность вступления Украины в НАТО. По данным телеканала CNN, стороны не смогли прийти к окончательным решениям по всем вопросам. В свою очередь, пресс-секретарь Белого дома Каролин Левит сообщила, что изначальный план по разрешению конфликта был серьезно доработан. По информации AFP, накануне спецпосланник президента США вновь встретился с представителями Киева, а именно с секретарем СНБО Украины Рустемом Умеровым. После этого последний отправился в Ирландию, чтобы представить подробный отчет Владимиру Зеленскому. This side is also part of the article, but I think this is more than enough for us to read through and break down. If I look at the time of the video and we have more time, then I'll go over that as well. So, first and foremost, news is not the easiest thing to learn from. You have to be at a good level when it comes to vocabulary for you to understand it, because they specifically use very precise vocabulary. They're trying to save your attention and not write out a whole story, so they're more precise. So here we go. Спецпосланник президента США, a special person, a special, I guess, agent, спецпосланник. So спец is short for специальный, special, and посланник is a person who's been sent off. So it's like a diplomat, or like a diplomat, special diplomat, I guess. Президента США of a president of United States. So we don't have of here and of here, of the president of the US, because we use genitive case for президента, and that will already outline the fact that they belong to the president. Steve Witkoff, of course is his name, вылетел в Москву, flew out to Moscow. Now this is a great verb, вылетел. When we talk about departing of a plane, вылетел means took off. Вы as a prefix here means out. Okay, let me highlight this. Вы means out. Летел means flew. So flew out, took off. В Москву, to Moscow, для переговоров с Владимиром Путиным. For the negotiations with Vladimir Putin. Заявила пресс-секретарь Белого дома, whatever. Заявить means to proclaim, to declare, to say. Now, they could have said сказала, right, said, but заявила is more official, more formal. I proclaim something. I guess it's fitting into this formal setting of politics and diplomacy. Пресс-секретарь, press secretary, of course, Белого дома, of a White House. I'm not sure why Дома is not capitalized. White House, I think both are capitalized. Maybe in Russian language, this is treated as one term, Белого дома, White House. So yeah, of course, Каролин Левит is her name. Сейчас Witkoff направляется в Россию. Now Witkoff is headed to Russia. Now we had вылетел, flew out, направляется is headed. So both are talking about the direction of a plane. Now, if you think about it, where can you use these phrases? When you talk about some sort of flying out or driving out and you are headed somewhere, you can use направляется. В Россию means, of course, to Russia. Сказала она, she said. Now, this is a first paragraph. For some of you, this may be too complicated. For some, it's right for your level. But despite of your level, you can get to the next stage, next level of your Russian with Be Fluent Camp. Join us with the first link in the description. It's our 8-week intensive course for all of you guys who want to just speak better and use your Russian better in the conversation. And these news will be a no-brainer, will be super easy to you once you reach to a level of intermediate to advanced in our Be Fluent Camp, which you can do. Join us and you will progress faster with speaking practices, with great vocabulary sets, and of course with needed grammar for your communication. So check us out with the first link in the description. We start on January the 5th of 2026. But we also do them twice a year if you're watching this video later. Okay, next. Ожидается all this stuff. Ожидается, it's expected, что сегодня, that today, спецпосланник Дональда Трампа, a special agent, like I said, of Donald Trump, представит Путину, will show to Putin. Представить means to show, like to present. I think представить is, I think present is a very good translation because of the formality of the situation. Not just like to show, here's my phone, right? But to present something. It's more serious. План мирного урегулирования. A plan of peace regulation. Урегулирование is regulation to come to the peaceful agreement and peaceful plan, I would say. It's better translated into English. Согласованный means agreed upon. С киевскими властями with Kiev's ruling, power, with Kiev's power. Власть can be translated as power, ruling, politicians as well, to the top of the government, okay? Authorities, власти. Authorities is very general. Власть comes from a term to have power. Power and ruling power, власть, okay? Представитель Кремля, a representative of Kremlin, Dmitry Peskov, he's a press secretary of Kremlin, подтвердил, confirmed. Подтвердить means to confirm, yes, it's true, подтвердить. Что президент, that the president, примет, will accept, will receive, who? Его, him, of course talking about спецпосланник, special agent, Witkoff, в Москве, in Moscow, 2 декабря, 2nd of December, во второй половине дня. Now, Russians love this term, во второй половине дня, in the second half of the day. Now, if you think about it, what's the first half of the day? What's the second half of the day? First half of the day, I think, is before 12, right? It's, in fact, before the first half is over. And the second half is from 12 to 6, I would say, is that kind of a time. Because second part of the day, I think, is also assumed that it's the second working part of the day. Past 6 p.m., it's not work hours anymore. And so that's why we don't really think of that. So, во второй половине дня, in the second half of the day. В воскресенье во Флориде прошла, whatever this sentence is. On Sunday in Florida, the meeting between two delegations happened between US and Ukraine. Now, what's important here is воскресенье on Sunday. Notice how I say this. I don't say в воскресенье. I say воскресенье. As if this v is double in pronunciation, no pauses whatsoever. Воскресенье. And then, во Флориде, when we translate the English words Florida, Florida, the stress can change. Especially, let's say, Michigan, right? In Russian, I would say Michigan on the A. Russian language doesn't like the stress on the first syllable. And so a lot of the times when we translate the words that are stressed differently in a different language, we will go for the more Russian-like pronunciation. Michigan. Michigan is not really that natural. Прошла встреча. Great saying, прошла встреча. The meeting has happened. But прошла, if you know a little bit about Russian verbs of motion, прошла means went by or walked by. We can use this term when we talk about something happening, something going, when it's a process. Встреча прошла, the meeting has happened. Разговор прошел, the conversation has happened or went. What else? Турнир прошел, the tournament has happened when it's a long period of time of something happening. We can use прошла. The rest is pretty simple. От американской стороны, from the American side, and this is just gonna name all the people who are participating in this meeting, right? An interesting word, зять. Зять is a son-in-law, зять. And I was surprised to see this here. I think it's the first time that I've heard Trump's son-in-law participating in this. But зять is a son-in-law. In English, it's much easier. Daughter-in-law, son-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law. But in Russian, there's a separate term for each of those, which is like you have to learn a whole new word for that. Глава Госдепа, the head of Secretary of State. Okay? Is that true? Yeah, Secretary of State, yeah. Глава Госдеп. Гос means short for государственный, state. Деп is short for department, State Department, or State Secretary. Глава Госдепа. Последний, the last. So a lot of the times in the text like this, you will have multiple people mentioned. And then the next sentence starts with the last of which, right? So последний means the last. Назвал, and then whatever this is. Назвал means named, called. Назвать can be when you name a child, when you name a dog, when you name or when you call something a certain thing. Назвать. It comes from a word название, which means a name. Название. Состоявшиеся переговоры, the happened negotiations, полезными, useful, и продуктивными, and productive. Полезными и продуктивными is two great words. Но отметил, but he highlighted. Отметить means to highlight, to mention. It's when you... Отметить really means that you make something stand out. Что впереди еще много работы. That ahead there's still a lot of work. Впереди means literally ahead of us, in front of us. Еще, still, много работы, a lot of work. So notice that I don't really focus on words like состоявшиеся and делегации. Those words, I think you can find them from the translation as well. And we need to highlight certain things that you can use in your conversation as well. So it's not going to be just a whole bunch of new words and just translation. You can do that with any AI app out there, right? So let's highlight only the useful stuff that all of us can use in our our everyday life. Как писали зарубежные СМИ? As the foreign social media people wrote. СМИ is media. СМИ is средства массовой информации. Measures of mass information. We can talk about social networks. We can talk about news channels. We can talk about anything that's mass information. But typically, СМИ is referring to formal mass information resources. Any blogger that just has this news channel, will not count as that really. They're just covering and reacting. But СМИ is the ones who maybe publicize the information, right? Как писали зарубежные СМИ, as the foreign media wrote, среди затронутых тем были обмен территориями. Among the touched topics, there were обмен территориями. You will hear this a lot in the news of Russia and Ukraine, all this stuff. You will hear this term a lot. Обмен территориями. Обмен means exchange. Обмен, in fact, means exchange of currency. Обмен валюты, currency exchange. Обмен информации, information exchange. So обмен is when two parties exchange what they have. Территориями, of course, is territories. It's a Latin word or English word too. Гарантии безопасности. Гарантии means guarantees. Безопасности means safety. This is an interesting word. Без means without. Опасность means danger. So безопасность means lack of danger or safety. И невозможность and not ability. Of course, возможность means opportunity or ability. Не means not. Not an ability or disability вступления Украины в НАТО of Ukraine joining NATO. And notice how I read this SMI and NATO. A lot of the times you have abbreviations like AFP or CNN where you have to spell certain words. In Russian as well. But when the abbreviation has a vowel, most likely we'll read it as a regular word. I don't say SME for this, and I don't say NATO for this. SMI, NATO. Okay? So yeah, and США, for example, I read it as США. I don't say США. So sometimes those will change. I guess it also has a vowel here too, but I don't say США. I guess it's a question of why. But I guess this is just the way it is. So certain abbreviations will be read as a regular syllable. Certain will be read spelled out. США, for example. По данным телеканала CNN, according to the sources of CNN, стороны не смогли прийти к окончательным решениям по всем вопросам. The sides couldn't, не смогли, to not be able to. And this is a past tense verb, смочь, to be able to in the past tense. Прийти, to come, to arrive. Прийти is a prefix при, right here, means to arrive. К окончательным решениям, to the final decisions, по всем вопросам, on all questions. Again, great word решения, decisions, conclusions, all of that. По всем вопросам, also a great phrase, on all the questions, according to all the questions. В свою очередь, in her turn, пресс-секретарь Белого дома Uri Hedges сообщила, so the secretary informed. Сообщить means to inform. We have a great word сообщение, which means a message. So, yeah. Что изначальный план по разрешению конфликта был серьезно доработан. That the beginning or the starting document or plan of the resolution of the conflict was seriously worked on. Again, all of these words are really just media talk or politics talk, not really useful for our regular everyday conversations. You have the translation to learn from this. По информации AFP, according to the information of AFP, накануне, recently or the day before, спецпосланник президента США, the special agent of President of the United States, вновь means again. You might have heard опять, you might have heard снова, but вновь is one of those words that is very poetic and very specific, very formal, and again. Встретился с, met with. So встретился typically is accompanied with this с, to meet with someone. Представителями Киева, with the representation of Kiev. А именно секретарем СНБО, again, I read it as СНБО, I don't say СНБО, Украины Рустемом Умеровым, with the secretary of Ukraine, Rustem Umerov. После этого последний отправился в Ирландию, after that, the last of which is Umerov, отправился, went off. Отправиться is not specifying how he went, driving, walking, flying, swimming, doesn't specify. Отправиться simply means he went off. Okay? В Ирландию, to Ireland, чтобы представить подробный отчет, to again present, подробный отчет, a very detailed summary Владимиру Зеленскому, to Vladimir Zelensky. That is all. We kind of quickly went over this whole thing, not really just translating every single line. What's the point of that, right? We are trying to get the most useful information for us to learn from. And for all of you guys who have reached this point of the video, this might be very confusing because you will have, let's say, 10% of the vocabulary that's required to understand this. I would say keep on learning Russian words, keep on studying vocabulary until you can understand about 40% of this text. From that point, you'll be able to learn other words based on context or based on other information that you already know. So you can use this as learning material, but it cannot be too difficult. It's like going to the gym and trying to lift the heaviest weight out there. Your muscles won't grow from that, okay? Because you cannot lift it up. That is all. See you all in the next video, or join our Be Fluent Camp with this button right here if you want a more intensive program with me. See you all there.